All right, so I just want to do this quick coaching video because a student asked me if you can ever trust a woman. So can you trust a woman? And the short answer to that is no. You actually can't trust women. The reason why is because it's in a female's DNA to manipulate you and to be manipulative. And the reason for that is because of how women have evolved to begin with. The way that women survived back in the old caveman days is not by strength, but by manipulation. Okay, she had to manipulate men, manipulate the tribe, and manipulate even her fellow women in order to not only lock down the highest value male that she could, you know, a guy with survival skills, hunting skills, but also for resources. You know, back then it was food, water, clothing, fire, right? Women had to be very manipulative in order to get these things because they did not have the brawn and the strength that men did. So over time, women evolved that way to be very manipulative, and so much so they even manipulate each other. You know, this is why women often like give each other dirty looks. You know, you ever catch a girl giving another girl dirty looks and you just don't get why? It's like, you don't even know that girl. Why are you guys giving each other dirty looks? Is because they can sense each other's manipulations and it pisses them off. You know, whenever a girl like gives another girl a dirty look, you know, she might say something like, oh, look at that dress, ugh. You know, or look at her makeup, look at the way she does her hair. Ugh, what is she, some kind of whore? That is her way of manipulating that girl's value in your mind. You know, say you're her boyfriend, you're walking with her, and she's threatened by this other woman. She's gonna manipulate you by lowering that girl's value and be like, look at her hair. Oh my gosh, she has like a $10 haircut. And look at that Walmart makeup. She probably doesn't have a good job either. That's why she looks so poor. You know, and she'll say things like that because she wants to manipulate you into thinking that girl's lower value so she doesn't lose you to her, right? So everything when it comes to women is all about manipulation. And this is why when you're in relationships with these girls, whether you're in dating relationships with them or you're working with them, right? They're constantly manipulating people, especially guys. They're constantly manipulating us, right? They might be like, hey, you know, my back hurts. Can you grab that big box up there and carry it all the way to the 5th floor for me? I know I'm supposed to do it, but oh, my arms and my back. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're like, okay, you know, I'm the guy. I want to be a nice guy. And you'll carry that heavy box, you know, 5 floors for her. She just manipulated you. Her back is probably fine. She could do it herself. It's just she's too lazy to, right? So instead of asking you point blank to do it, she manipulates you. You know, she plays the victim. Another example is when you just meet a girl, right? You meet a girl, you hit it off at some venue, you spend the whole night together, you're texting back and forth all week, she's telling you she can't wait to see you, and then all of a sudden that night comes, and like an hour before your date, she texts you and she flakes. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, my cat is in the hospital. Or, oh, I'm sorry, my sister flew in unexpectedly and I have to go pick her up at the airport. It's like always something magically happens right before your date, right? And then she flakes. You know, is that really what happened? No, she's manipulating you. And not to mention the fact that women are hypergamous by nature, right? They're always looking to lock down the highest value male. Even when she's with you, when she's in a dating relationship with you, or she's your girlfriend or wife, she is going to constantly be exploring her options, okay, for the most part. I'm not saying all women do this. I'm saying most women do. Okay, the women who are in relationships with men that they can actually trust to still be men are not going out there and doing that. Okay, the guys that they feel like are alpha and this is the best guy that I can get, they're completely happy with him, they're not going to go do that. But for most guys, since we were all raised with basically feminine indoctrination and all those feminist ideologies, most men out there as a result have become beta. Most men out there are little beta bitches. And a lot of these guys aren't even aware that they're little beta bitches. They're just in these relationships with these girls thinking they're doing the right thing, thinking they're, you know, being a strong man for their woman, and thinking that my girl going out with her friends for happy hour is no harm. My girl going to Vegas for the weekend with her girlfriends, you know, that's just a sign of her independence and I need to support that because that's what the feminine imperative has brainwashed me into thinking is the right thing to do, even though it's not. Okay, because when you do things like that, all you tell the girl is that you're naive and that you can easily be manipulated. And when women find out that you can be easily manipulated, they will go ahead and do that and manipulate you with no remorse whatsoever. She will not feel an ounce of guilt about it. As I teach you guys, there's nothing women despise more than a weak man. A man who can't stand up for himself. A man whose frame is so weak that he is constantly getting sucked into her frame. Okay, these women have no respect for guys like that. And unfortunately, most guys out there are beta. You know, most guys out there have no idea what it means to be a man anymore. Thanks to all that feminist brainwashing we've all had growing up. You know, and thanks to all these feminists out there and all these cuck politicians trying to redefine what masculinity is. You know, it's mostly these cucks politicians on the left, you know, that are saying, oh, this is what it means to be a man these days. They're just basically turning you into a better beta male, right? They're like, yeah, support your woman's independence. If she wants to go run off with her girlfriends for the weekend, you need to trust her. That she's just exercising her empowerment as a woman. The reality is she's going out there looking for a real alpha male. Somebody who's actually going to stand up to her BS and put her in her place and not reward her bad behavior like you are. Somebody who's not so naive that they're going to be controlled by the blue pill narrative that is rampant in society today. Understand that, you know, when it comes to women, you can't trust them. You know, I mean, I would trust a guy who is my enemy. Right? I would trust a guy who's my enemy over a woman at this point, just based off of what I know. And I know a lot of guys will watch this video. A lot of these cucks out there will be like, you know, you're just bitter, mister. You don't know women. You're just a hurt man and all this stuff. And it's like, no, we've all been hurt. And no, I'm not bitter. I mean, if I was bitter and hurt, I would stop doing game. I wouldn't be doing pickup still. And I wouldn't be teaching game or pickup to guys. I would have quit a long time ago. But I'm still out there. I do my approaches every single week. I take students out every single week. I coach students every single week, thousands of students all around the world. So I am very red-pilled when it comes to women and their true nature. And I wasn't before. I was blue-pilled like the rest of them. I didn't want to believe any of this shit. I didn't want to know it. I didn't want to hear it for the most part. And I didn't want to believe it was true for the longest time. You know who finally beat the truth into me and beat the naivety out of me? Was women themselves. Just years and years of experience dating these girls, the hundreds of girls that I've dated now, just years and years of experience, you know, falling in love and trying to make things work and trying to do the right thing and just going along with that feminist brainwashing that we've all been indoctrinated with, which is to respect your woman's independence and female empowerment and, you know, basically cheerlead for the feminine imperative constantly. I was doing all that. And you know what? That was the worst I've ever been treated in my life. Like I said, women will resent you and hate you and will gladly annihilate you for failing to stay strong in your own frame, for failing to stay masculine, for trading your masculinity for femininity, which so many guys have done these days. So many guys aren't even aware they've done that. But they are. I'd say over 95% of guys I see out there are living in the feminine. I'd say 5% of guys I meet out there are actually red-pilled and don't believe any of the shit going on today in the Matrix. 5% of guys, I would say, which is a pretty generous amount, I would say that I've come across that are unplugged from those old blue pill idealisms that don't work. And they do realize the true nature of women. You know, some of these guys are MGTOW, some of them are not, some of them are still dating women. Some of them are like me, very experienced pickup artists, guys who've been in the game a long time, guys who were also blue pill like I was, who got the shit beat out of them by women for trying to be more feminine, to try to relate to the feminine more. You can't. As a man, you cannot do that. You have to stay in your masculine. Don't try to relate to the feminine. Let her try to relate to the masculine. Okay, that's her job as a woman. It's not your job as a man to buckle at the knees and kowtow to the feminine imperative, to feminist ideology. At the end of the day, can you trust women? No, you can't. And this doesn't mean to get angry about that, okay? It's just another red pill truth bomb that I'm dropping on you guys, that this is the way it is, and to adapt it into your life. Okay, yeah, you can't trust a woman unless you're you're giving her what she needs, you know, value-wise, unless you're bringing something to the table. And it doesn't necessarily only mean like financially, or it doesn't have to be just financially. A lot of times, like, I mean, I don't bring anything financially to the table. I mean, I'm doing well for myself now, but I don't give these girls money. I do not offer to pay for everything. I expect the girl to pay her half on dates. I will usually front the first date. It's just something I do. A lot of times the girl will pay for the first date, and if she's willing to do that, I let her do it. I want to see how emotionally invested she'll become in me. But for the most part, we end up splitting the bill after the first few dates. I mean, I'll pay for the first date, maybe even the second, although I like to see the girl pull out her wallet on both dates and at least try and offer, because if she doesn't, that's a huge red flag. That's a topic for another video. I'm not going to get into that. But I will generally expect the girl to start, you know, pulling her half. You know, once we start dating, once we start going on more than a few dates per week, she needs to pull her half. I'm not her, you know, I'm not your daddy. I'm not going to keep paying for you. But I'll still continue to date women. I've got a dating rotation right now of 6 different women that I'm dating right now. They're all super cool girls, super fun to hang out with. None of them are losers. They all have great jobs. They all have their own cars. They all have their own place. And they're all a lot of fun to hang out with. And I'm honest with all of them. I don't hide things from them. I tell them I'm dating other women. I don't tell them I'm dating, you know, like 6 other women behind their back. I just tell them I am dating around casually. I'm not looking for anything serious right now. But if we continue to get along and the relationship continues to blossom, then, you know, maybe we can make this more of a me and you type of thing. You know, where it's just me and you. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But I'm pretty upfront with all of them. And I let them experience that competition anxiety while they're dating me. Because they're all hot. They're all good looking. They're all getting approached by lots of other guys when I'm not around. Even when I'm around, guys approach them when I'm in the bathroom. You know, I kid you not. It doesn't bother me one bit anymore because, you know, once you get to a certain level in game, you'll know you're the man, you know, and I hate to say that without bragging, but you'll know that you're a high value male, they're with a great guy, and if they're stupid enough to walk out the door and take a chance on the 95% of beta males out there, be my guest. I'm like, you want to walk out there and see what's out there, be my guest. Okay? And this is why I don't mind guys hitting on them at all, because it makes me look even better, because most guys have shitty game. So when these guys try to approach them and they use that beta male game and they start to like try to buy them drinks and they get all needy and clingy and get all like pushy and like, oh, when can I see you? Can I get your number at least? And da-da-da. And they start acting all like beta like that. It just makes me look even better. They're like, man, you know, I'm with a very high value guy compared to all these other guys out there. But at the end of the day, I'm not stupid. I know that if I'm not bringing the value, you know, I'm not giving them those emotional highs and lows, that if I'm not demonstrating my own ability to stay strong in my frame, to stay in my masculine polarity and not buckle to the feminine imperative, if I'm not doing those things, I know she's going to stray. As she would with any guy who fails to stay strong in his frame and trades his, you know, his masculine polarity for feminine energy. Any guy who gives up more of his masculine side to get more in touch with his feminine side, she's going to cheat on that guy. You know, that's why it's no surprise to me why so many of these girls are cheating on their boyfriends these days, their husbands. I mentioned in a previous coaching video that, you know, I'm out at these venues 4 to 5 times per week. And I've never seen so many women than I do today that are in relationships inside these venues where I'm at. And I didn't see this 10 years ago. You know, sure, every once in a while I'd come across a girl who was in a relationship and she happened to be out with her girlfriends. But these days, half the girls I see in these venues have some schmuck, some poor schmuck sitting at home, some boyfriend, some husband. Even a lot of these women have kids sitting at home. They're out at these venues. They're leaving their men at home. Why? Because they no longer trust their men to be men. And they're out there trying to find somebody who is still willing to be a man. They're exercising their open hypergamy, period. That's what it boils down to. So can you trust a woman? In most cases, no, you can't. But when it comes to men, from my experience, the longer a guy is with a girl in a relationship, the longer he stays with her, the more in love he becomes with her, the more complacent he becomes with her, to the point where he doesn't want to do anything else but just be with her. And he starts to love all her little quirks and all of her little flaws. He starts to love all those things that turned him off in the beginning. He starts to fall in love with all those things. And he begins to love her unconditionally. And I've seen a lot of men love women unconditionally. Unfortunately, I really haven't seen a whole lot of women love their men unconditionally unless that guy is constantly giving her something to chase in the form of validation, because women will chase validation till the end of time. So a lot of these girls who comment like, well, I treat my man like gold and he treats me like garbage, you know, and I'm in love with him and I love him for who he is with all his flaws. Yeah, it's because he's constantly forcing you to chase his validation. So again, women will chase validation to no end. The girls I'm dating right now, I don't completely validate them. I give them something to chase. Okay, they're constantly chasing something. And as I teach my students, a few students that I have that are married, I teach these guys, you cannot get complacent with your wife. You have to continue to date your wife. You have to continue to game your wife. Do you want her to stay attracted to you? Do you want her to keep having sex with you? Do you want to keep her from straying out there? Then you have to keep gaming her. Okay, because she's a woman, just like any other woman out there. You know, you can't trust her to just sit there and become complacent with you. She's not going to put up with that. At some point, she's going to get tired of it, and she's going to start going to the gym. She's going to start dieting more. She's going to start doing her hair more often. She's going to start buying tighter fitting clothes, and she's going to start going out there with her girlfriend. She's going to start sneaking off to Vegas for the weekends without you. And before you know it, she's going to have you replaced in no time. Okay? And these girls, they don't even have to be that cute. She could be a 5 in looks, a 6 in looks. And some beta male with a lot of money in the bank will be like, I'll settle for her. She's cute. I'll take her. Next thing you know, your wife divorces you. And she runs off with this guy. You know, all the while, you put in all this emotional investment in her, financial investment, time, youth, energy. It's all to waste now. It's all to waste because you stop gaming your wife. A lot of guys think once they get married, they can stop gaming their wife. They can sit back. They don't have to go to the gym anymore. They can drink beer all day, play video games, eat nachos, get fat, and that their woman's going to love them unconditionally just because she married them, just because they have a few kids together. Nope. That girl will leave you. Okay? You cannot trust her to sit there. As I keep telling you guys, you can't trust her. You know, she's a woman. You can't trust her. She's going to run off on you. Like I said, the rare situations where she won't run off on you is when you're providing value in return. Okay, you're giving her some sort of value in return. Doesn't always have to be financial, because I know a lot of guys with money who can't hang on to their women. Okay, a lot of guys with money, millions of dollars in the bank, they can't hang on to their women. Look what happened to Jeff Bezos recently, the founder of Amazon. His ex-wife is about to become the richest woman on the planet just because she was married to Jeff Bezos, because she's divorcing him now. What happened? He stopped gaming her. That's it. He stopped gaming her. He stopped trying to attract her. You know, whether he did that on purpose or not, he stopped doing it. And guess what? She was like, okay, I've seen enough of this. I don't care if Jeff Bezos is the richest man on the planet. I don't need him anymore. And she just leaves him. You know, after all of that emotional investment, financial investment he's put in her, you know, all those years they worked together building Amazon, it means nothing to her. She just takes off. You know, and your woman, your ex-girlfriend probably did the same, very coldly, right? These girls can be very cold when they leave you. It's like all these years you spent together, all these vacations you took, all these memories you created together. It's like one day she just leaves you like it's nothing. All the things you've done together meant nothing to her. And it's a very, very cold feeling that only women are capable of. You know, even your worst enemy will feel bad if he does some shit like that to you. You know, but I mean, women, they have no problem doing it. It's part of their, you know, them exercising their open hypergamy. So what? You know, he failed to show me that I can trust him to be a man. So in her mind, she's happy to do that to you. As I say over and over, women despise weak men. They despise and resent weak men. They hate them. You know, they're like gross to them. So that's the worst thing you could do, is be a weak beta male bitch who kowtows to her and becomes a yes man. You know, just because of all this feminist indoctrination, all this blue pill indoctrination you see going on in society today, in movies, television, advertising, commercials, news, sports even. We're constantly being hit over the head with all this feminist brainwashing to empower women, praise women, pedestalize women. Hey, it's International Women's Day. You know, have you thanked the woman in your life? Oh, we're powerful because of women. It's like women, women, women. It's like enough of this already. You know, even the women in my dating rotation now, like I said, I'm dating 6 different very hot women right now. And I know the second I slip, they're gone, right? The second I give up my own frame and start living in their frame, or I give up my own reality and I start trying to glom onto their reality, they're going to see me as weak. They're not going to be able to trust me to be a man anymore, and they're going to start exploring their options. They're like, ugh, I don't want to be with this guy anymore. I thought he was badass. I thought this guy was alpha, but no, he's just like the rest of them. You know, I know these chicks will leave at any given time the second I stop doing what I do. Okay, the second I stop doing what I did to get them in the first place, which is staying strong in my frame, pulling them into my reality and not getting sucked into theirs, not pedestalizing them because of their physical attractiveness. All these things I teach you guys. So at the end of the day, can you trust women? Can you ever really trust them? No, you can't. Okay, you can't. Because even when you're doing everything right, and like with the girls I'm dating now, I feel like I'm doing everything right. All it takes is one slip up. Okay, all it takes is one slip up. I mean, I used to work in corporate America. I had a great job. I was making 6 figures per year, bought a brand new top-down Mercedes at the time, and I was kicking ass. But every week, somebody was on the chopping block. Anybody who was not performing, they didn't care how long you've been there. You could have been at the company 30 years, man. If you were on the chopping block that week, you didn't perform, out. That fast, that quick. That's like asking me back then, hey, can you trust your company to keep you employed? I would have said no. I would have been like, I love my company. I love working here. I appreciate them. I love the money I'm making, but do I trust them at the end of the day? No, because they'll fire me like there's no tomorrow. They'll fire me without a second thought if I don't perform. Same thing with women. You don't perform, they will fire you. That's just the way it is. Accept it for what it is. I'm not saying to hate women because of it. It's just part of their nature. They're looking for the strongest male possible. And in a way, it's good, right? Because imagine if women just loved you unconditionally, like a lot of those blue pill Disney fantasies want you to believe that women can love you unconditionally. If they did that, as men, we would all just be flabby, fat pieces of shit who would never want to get anything done, who would never want to get out of bed, who would never want to strive to be men, to be better men. We would not want to do anything but sit at home, get fat, eat nachos, and do nothing. Nothing in this world would get done. So in a way, it's good that women don't reward that type of behavior. It's good that women don't reward that beta cuck type of behavior either. You know, that little bitch behavior that's constantly needy and clingy and wanting to know where she is and is constantly mate guarding. It's good that women don't reward that shit because, you know, society would kind of be a lot more screwed up than it already is. The fact that women don't reward that type of behavior means that they're only going to have sex and replicate with a select few of high value men in the world that they feel is going to offer her the best survival and replication value. I mean, at the end of the day, a woman is always going to do whatever is in her own best interest, regardless of yours. Okay, she's always going to do whatever is in her own best interest. Okay, the last person she's thinking about is you. Okay, all she is thinking about is herself and what is going to benefit her the most, what is going to fuel her hypergamy the most. I mean, just knowing that should tell you that, you know, if this person's going to constantly do whatever's in their best interest, regardless of your own feelings and regardless of the time you've spent in a relationship together, that should tell you right there that you can never actually trust that person. You know, just think back on your own girlfriends that have left you, dumped you, cheated on you, left you for dead. Did they do what was in the best interest of the relationship or you? No, they always did what was in their own self-interest. Okay, whatever benefited them the most, no matter who got hurt, they don't care. You know, it's just part of female nature. You know, and I'm not faulting them for that. It's just the way the gender evolved. That's just the way it is. Okay, so don't take what I say out of context. You know, this isn't like an anti-woman video or anything like that, obviously, because I still continue to date women, pick up women, but I do it with red pill awareness, as you should. Just be aware of what you're getting yourself into. You don't need to go black pilled on this and give up on everything and just like screw women. No, you know, you can still enjoy women. just go in with red pill awareness. Just go in understanding what you're dealing with, as I do. Like all the 6 girls I'm dating right now, as I told you, they would drop me in a heartbeat if I stopped doing what I'm doing. Easily. And you know what? I don't fault them for that. It's just part of their survival. You know, it's part of their survival strategy. A woman is always going to do whatever is in her best interest, whether she's your girlfriend or your wife. I don't care how long you've been together. I don't care how many kids you have together and how much time you have invested together. She's always going to do whatever is in her own best interest. Whether that's staying with you or leaving you, she is going to do whatever is in her best interest, not yours. So I'm going to wrap up here. That's all I have to say for tonight's coaching video. Until next time, this is M. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell up top. And more importantly, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That helps me out a lot when you guys actually subscribe to the channel. It tells YouTube that I'm adding value to your lives. So definitely subscribe to my channel for more great content from me in the near future. For you guys who want to support my work and support my content and everything I'm doing here, a great way to do it is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months of Mastery. Right now, the first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. You're going to gain a ton of value just from that first month alone. It's going to completely change your view on women and how to approach women, how to close women, how to pick up women. And I'm not just talking about, you know, average looking women, but I'm talking about the best looking women out there, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Those are the women that I teach my students to specifically focus on out there, the 8s, 9s, and 10s, the best looking women in the world. So in that very first month of 7 Months of Mastery, you're gonna learn all of my best tips, tricks, and secrets to go out there and start approaching, even from those first month of coaching lessons alone. So not only will you be supporting my work, but you will also be getting value in return. You know, and it's all for just $1. I know a lot of these guys, these other channels have like Patreons and whatnot. I don't do Patreon because really all you're going to be doing is giving me money and you're not going to be getting much value in return. Where here, you're actually getting real life tips, tricks, and secrets for how to go out there and approach and close very, very beautiful women. Again, 8s, 9s, and 10s. And like I said, the first month is only $1. So if you want to join and support my work, support my content, support my channel, it's a great way to do it. Just click that link below in my description box. It'll take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It only takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.